Good day to you, dear friends. Welcome to part 5 of the series of Pressing Forward. Today, we're going to talk about the pursuit of excellence. Now, for this, we're going to look at the character of someone who's well known in the Old Testament. We're going to look at Caleb. And as we look at Caleb, we'll also look at Joshua, because both of them were trendsetters at the time. They were people who were excellent. Now, friends, as you open your hearts to listening to this message, I pray that spirit of excellence will come upon you, that you'll choose to excel in everything that you do. Now, as we read in Numbers chapter 14 and in verse 24, excellence actually means having a different spirit. Let me read that for you. Numbers chapter 14 verse 24. Now it says, but my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has followed me fully, I will bring into the land where he went, and his descendants shall inherit it. Notice here, friends, even as God refers to Caleb, God says he has a different spirit. Caleb, when you put Caleb with a group of people, he was like somebody who stood apart. He wasn't like the rest. That's how God referred to him. Someone who had a different spirit. Why did Caleb excel? I believe because he had a different spirit. And it's my prayer that you have a different spirit by the end of this message, by the end of this series. Now, excellence here, as I said, it means having a different spirit. Now, if you look at Caleb, his name Caleb, the name Caleb actually means being stubbornly unyielding and persistent determination. Now, stubborn here doesn't mean stubborn with a hard head. It means somebody who is unyielding, stubborn in the sense that he is not moved. He knows what is the right thing to do and he will not budge. Now, there are two ways of where we can be stubborn. One is stubborn when you have a hard head and you just go against everything that's said to you. Now, this kind of stubbornness for Caleb is actually unyielding. He was somebody who held on to his beliefs, and his friend Joshua, who was successful with him. Now, the meaning of the name Joshua is the Lord my salvation. These two guys, these two men of God, were people who displayed the spirit of excellence. Now, if we look at the whole episode in Numbers chapter 13, where we read about the spies, now we can read some of the qualities and we can see some lessons we can hear from there, we can learn and apply in our lives. The first thing that we hear and we see is Caleb and Joshua. They had a conquering attitude. They were ready and willing to fight, ready and willing to go against the enemies. They did not shy away from the giants that were standing before them. Caleb and Joshua had the spirit which says, look, we can overcome. That is called a conqueror. Someone who is willing to go at whatever stands at him, no matter what the cost. If we want to be excellent, we must have a conquering attitude. Never be afraid. Never shy away from danger. When everyone else moves away, runs away from danger, be the one to stand up and say, I will conquer. I will overcome. That's the spirit of someone who is excellent. The first one we should have is a conquering spirit, a conquering attitude, like Joshua and Caleb. The second thing, friends, is we should have a positive outlook. What does it mean? Let me give you two things. Caleb and Joshua saw possibilities, not problems. Caleb and Joshua saw opportunities, not obstacles. In your life, what do you see? Do you see problems? If you do, replace that with possibility thinking. When previously you would have said, oh, I see a problem, this is a problem. A new way of thinking would be, what is the possibility here? I don't see a problem, I don't know what's a problem, but I see a possibility. If you're always seeing obstacles, if everywhere you go you're only seeing obstacles, change your mindset. Look at it as opportunities. Major on it. Look at what you can bring out of it. Instead of looking at a negative, look at a positive. Look at opportunities that come your way. Don't look at the obstacles. And the third thing that we see in Caleb and Joshua is they really had an awareness of God's presence. What the others did not feel or know, they felt in their hearts. If we look at Numbers chapter 14 and verse 9, you see the courage and you see how they sensed God's presence. Now it says in verse 9, "Only do not rebel against the Lord, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their protection has departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them." The most important phrase here is Joshua and Caleb telling the people, the Lord is with us. Friends, God's presence is with you. You may feel it, sometimes you may not. It doesn't negate the fact that He is with you. And I'd like to share with you something that I hold dear in my heart. You know, when my wife and I first started One Voice Ministries in 2008, there were a lot of questions in our mind. Is God going to be with us? Are we going to succeed? Or is this whole endeavor going to fall to the ground? What lies before us? These were questions that faced us, and it came to our minds. You know, just as any time you step into something new, questions were there. And I remember even as we used to go out and travel and minister in churches at the beginning of our ministry days, I remember one incident very clearly. We were about to do a seminar in a church, and I had questions in my heart. I was thinking, are we going to succeed? How are we going to do it? How is this whole episode going to turn out? And friends, just in the midst of that question, I felt the presence of God just overshadow me. I can't explain to you what it felt like, but I knew that something had come over me, and it was something different, something I had never felt before. And I knew for a fact it was God. And that very moment I heard the voice of God. And God said to me, "My son, from this day on, wherever you go, whatever programs you do, whatever seminars you do, as you carry out your ministry, I will be with you. You will see signs, you will see wonders. Everything you do will be successful." As these words sank into my heart, a confidence grew in me. I remember this every time we go on mission trips, every time we go to do ministry-based programs. I always remember this word. I may not be feeling God's presence at that time, but I remember this incident. This tells me that God is with me. So there may be times when I can't feel God. There may be times when I feel, oh, maybe His presence is not strong enough. Sometimes I don't feel anything. But because I don't feel anything doesn't mean God is not there. It's the same with you. Sometimes you may feel God. There may be times or seasons in your life where you don't feel God in your life. But friends, let me assure you that He is there with you. As you press forward, as you move forward in excellence, know that God is with you. Learn how to listen to His voice, because He speaks when you don't expect to listen. Know this, that when you are aware of His presence, He will be with you. We're going to go into a time of worship now. And I'd like you to worship along with us, because I want you to know that God is by your side. He will tell you what you need to do. Let's move into a time of worship.
Lord Jesus, even as you challenge us, God, in every area of our life, to push forward despite the struggles, despite the circumstance, we believe, oh Father, that you will speak into our lives. You will tell us what we need to do, You will show us where we need to go. Let our hearts and our ears and our spirits be attentive to all that you are speaking.
Tell me what you want me to do, Lord God. Tell me what you want for my life. It's yours, oh God. It's yours. Do your will, have your way. Be like God in this place. Oh, I want your will to be done.
Make this your prayer today.
Tell me what you want me to do, Lord God. Tell me what you want for my life. It's yours, oh God. It's yours.
Do your will.
Do your will, have your way. Be like God in this place. Oh, I want your will to be done. And I will climb this mountain. And I'll step off the shore. And I have chosen to follow. Be by your side forevermore.
And I will climb.
And I will climb this mountain. And I'll step off the shore. And I have chosen to follow. Be by your side forevermore.
You need to speak to us right now.
Tell me what you want me to do, Lord God. Tell me what you want for my life. It's yours, oh God. It's yours. Do your will, have your way. Be like God in this place. Oh, I want your will to be done.
This is our prayer, Jesus. That you would speak into our spirits. That you would speak into our hearts. Teach us, oh God, not to give up, but to always push forward and keep our eyes focused on you. To keep our hearts and our minds rooted in your word. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.